The Center for Nutrition and Activity Promotion at California State University, Chico received a grant from the California Obesity Prevention Program. And basically we were funded to deal with childhood obesity on a policy level. So we partnered with 8 different preschools in Butte County and helped them create policies that were based around the recommendations from preventing childhood obesity in early care and education programs. The first area that we addressed is active opportunities for physical activity. The second is playing outdoors. The third is teachers' encouragement of physical activity. And the fourth is policies and practices that promote physical activity. And this is a diary of the work that we've done with our partners here in Butte County.
Just as someone who's seen the field historically, how they've been trained, more of the folks who have come out of the current system seem to be less prepared to lead music, movement, motor active, and so when I look at curriculum, are we making sure that that's still part of the early childhood education major or the child development major? That needs to be as integral part, because if we're looking at development and we understand what we know about brain development, without that connection and without people understanding that those aren't just play, fun experiences, they are vital to that child's overall learning opportunities or learning potential. Whether or not they're less active, there's maybe less intentionality to make them active. Mm-hmm. I think people who are maybe naturally sedentary will stay naturally sedentary unless motivated to move. Mm-hmm. So that's what I think is that I'm seeing missing, is we don't have that initiative or intentional engagement for movement activities. And so if children see teachers sitting and being sedentary, there's not a role model, there's not that active engagement on either part. It just doesn't allow for, I think, a very active experience. And again, for everything that we know, if children are not active at this age and not engaged in this age in physical activity, that has a serious impact on how their brain is going to develop, and how the rest of their learning patterns are going to develop as well.
One area we focus on is how teachers engage the children in physical activity. We know that children learn from modeling, so we recommend that teachers lead structured activities in an engaging way, that they also wear appropriate clothing for movement, and a big one is that they don't sit during outside playtime. We also ask that they provide positive prompts for children when they're being active. This site does a fabulous job engaging the children with new activities for outside play.
I've seen a lot more where they are interacting with the children more with the activities, rather than just saying, okay, we're going to do this now. So more of exampling it to them first, and then the kids are, going off of what they're doing, which is basically kind of something we don't normally do, but it seems to be working better. Because if we put the equipment out there and they don't know what it is, and they don't know what it's used for, we tend to get weaponry and hitting and throwing and stuff that it's not normally used for. Yeah. So if we put it out there, show them a little bit, and then leave it there for them openly to play with it. We put things out here in the environment to kind of see where they gravitate towards. And a lot of them will go directly to the balls or directly to the same things every day. But when we put new things out in the environment, they kind of gravitate towards it, see what they can do with it, and then a teacher will step in and do a group-led activity with the actual equipment.
Helen Wilcox Preschool is on an elementary campus, so they're fortunate to have a fabulous outdoor play space that they share with the kindergarten class. They created a policy that children receive 2 hours of active play every day, that they go outside twice a day, and that structured physical activity is taught using a standardized curriculum at least twice a week. Teachers focus on variety, opportunities for indoor activity when weather is bad, and implementing short bursts of teacher-led activities throughout the day. They also mandate that children wear safe and appropriate clothing and footwear for active play. Access to physical activity equipment is not a barrier for this preschool. In order to add a variety of skills to their physical activity instruction, they cycle the equipment so the activities stay fun and engaging.
Each week we have a new theme, and we each have an area.
Yeah.
And our areas have to be changed once a week. The stuff you put out, you have to wash, put away back in the shed, bring out new stuff.
A lot of times outside, I'll get out different things out of the shed, like hula hoops, and then we lay them on the ground, and we have bean bags that we can have them throw it into the hula hoops, or actually they can use their bodies and stuff. And then also we have a balance beam that we get out and put that out, and then make like a little obstacle course.
The space here is limited. I don't know if you can see that. Typically, because this is easier or not as easy to observe by staff, they just close it off and don't allow children to be over here. The recommendation is to open it up to give them more opportunities, and especially to use the wall space for reaching and for other activities, jumping. And then incorporating the literacy in that. And so we're really excited about that. Also, the use of stencils on the ground that will motivate them to move in different ways, and that we can also incorporate into the literacy. So having shapes and directionality, alphabet, those kind of things will be included in this area. I do plan to retire someday soon, and so I like that it's written down and that we can all agree on it, and then it gives us guidelines just like all the things that we do.
Well, the policy was the first thing we developed because we needed the language to start communicating to each other about what this means. And we've had some opportunities now in the last year and a half to define some of those words, like what is physical activity, what is the difference in a child playing with a truck and a child running for 15 minutes. So trying to understand the bigger picture as an organization or here on campus has been, I think, has been worth having the policy. The issue now is taking that policy and putting it actually into practice. And we'll be experiencing that this semester, the fall of 2011. We're hoping to get more of an active participation, not only from our career staff, but the students that participate here at the program. Because more than anybody, those young folks who are learning about how children learn in development need to have this understanding of how important physical growth and movement is to children's learning.